Welcome into Coach's Corner. I'm Connor Trett, and I'm joined here with the Remsen St. Mary's girls basketball coach, Coach Willman. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Connor.
Awesome. Well, first off, I think congratulations are in order. You just hit your 300th win a couple of games ago. So first off, congratulations on win number 300.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and 131 came at Remsen, and the 100 and some odd ones that came before that came at Spalding Catholic, just 20 miles up the road. Is that right?
Yeah, I had a really good experience at Spalding Catholic. I was there as a boys coach and as a girls coach, and 110 of those wins would have been with the boys. I really loved the experience I had with the athletes that were down there.
Awesome. And you had talked just before we hit record here. There were a few years where you were the boys and the girls basketball coach. So kind of go through, like, what was a game day like for you when you had the girls game and then you got to turn right around and coach the boys?
Well, I was there for 21 years, 20 years as a head coach, and then 5 of those I did both the boy and the girls together. And you're right. I told you I was a younger guy then. I think I had more energy then to do something like that. But it was a time commitment, but I also had a family that was very encouraging to the fact that that was going on. And it was good to build teams. I entered the girls side of it because I had 3 young girls that were coming up, and the program needed some help. And well, we turned the corner in a couple of years, and we're doing pretty well.
All right. And then you find yourself at Remsen St. Mary's in 2013. And before that, you said you kind of played Remsen St. Mary's as a coach at Spalding Catholic. So what did you kind of know about the school? What did you kind of know about the team before you were the coach? Yeah,
a very similar school. We're 2 small Catholic schools, us and then Galen's right in that neighborhood too. So I would think the 3 of us are very similar in things. We have very similar values and similar student body. So the jump over there was not hard in any kind of a way. It was very smooth. The 12 years have gone very fast though.
All right. And over those 12 years, you've kind of cemented yourself as you've started kind of a legacy there as the first head coach to lead the team to to Des Moines for the state tournament. Just a couple of years ago in 2023, you helped the team get there. What do you kind of remember about that team? What do you remember about that year when you made that first trip out there?
We had a group of 6 individuals come in as freshmen, and they were very big in changing the culture. All the sports went very well. I coach also cross country and track. They were very good track athletes, also most of them, but very fundamental in making that not just the boys' games matter, but the girls' games were important in that St. Mary's, much more important than they had probably been. Yeah. And getting to state was for us the ultimate. And then 2 years in a row in the semifinals, getting some of the job done.
And being able to see those great athletes that you had talked about kind of get that payoff as juniors and seniors, getting to go 2 straight trips to Des Moines, what do you feel like that meant to you as a coach to see them kind of come up through the program and get rewarded with that trip to the state tournament?
That's hard to put words on because, I mean, that's what everyone's working for the whole time. You're putting everything out there. You want to be successful. You want to get as far as you can get. So I think we were all rewarded, all blessed by the experience.
And coming off those 2 years, 2 straight trips to Des Moines, 2 straight trips to the Class 1A semifinal game. Coming off of last year, you lost a lot of experience. Your starting 5 was all seniors. So from last year to this year, what was kind of the criteria you were looking at when rebuilding your starting 5?
Well, we knew we would be short on numbers a little bit. We're very fortunate that we have 9 out this year. We have 5 freshmen that have joined us, and they play a very big role on the team. We've got 1 senior, 1 junior, and a couple sophomores. Everyone's playing at a great level. I don't think there was necessarily big expectations for how we'd be doing right now. We're at 8 and 7, playing pretty well. This last week, we've had, in a small school and in any kind of program, you're going to see some ups and downs, and we had that in the last week.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of those games in the last week, we were talking. Your last 2 games have been decided by a combined 3 points, and both very, very different kinds of wins. You had one game where you had to hold on to a lead, and one game where you were down 17 and you came back and won. What can wins like that really do for the program, especially with such a large amount of young players?
I think situations help build a team. This last week we had an early game on Monday, and we did not play very well. We just didn't have the efforts that we needed in it. We turned around on Tuesday and had a big upset win. We held the lead by a long lead, and then they came back. We held on in the end, and then on Friday we were down 17 in the 4th quarter with 6.5 left and came on and did it. So I think those varied experiences have helped us as a ball club to grow. Now, in the course of the year, we've had lost by a last-second shot. So I think sports brings that idea of that you're going to have some ups and some downs, some highs and some lows, and it mirrors life. And I think the athletes have a great ability then to experience some of this stuff in their life and learn how to handle those situations.
Absolutely. And I was looking at your schedule. 9 of your 15 games have been decided by single digits. You seem to have a knack this year for getting into those kind of close games. When you're in those close games, what do you kind of tell your players on the bench? Like, I mean, at this point, you're at maybe game 8 or 9 where it's those super close, tight games. What do you really tell your players when they're in that situation?
I think the players know what to expect, and they're learning what to expect from each other, and that's the key thing. We are developing our team as one that can shoot better. We use the best program from B.J. Mulder. But what we're really good at right now is our defense and translating that into some offense. We're getting better and better at that. Our freshmen are learning how to become scorers. I think it's a process. It certainly doesn't happen overnight, but we're on the way, and I can very much say that right away. The other thing too is we've integrated our junior high into our program in practices, and I can't think of anything better that we have done. I think there's been growth for our junior high, and it's certainly helped us out on the high school end of things. A little deeper field in practice.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that there's a few of those players in the junior high level that you're thinking can be real big impact players coming up through the ranks once they get up to the high school level.
Very soon, and that's what we're looking at too. We're very, very pleased with how this season has gone. We're working hard. We're improving every week and every game. But then too, we've got a bright future ahead of us too. And we don't have a lot of the youth. We have 4 7th graders, 4 8th graders right now, but they're really putting the effort into it and really getting better. Yeah. And making us better too. So it's a mutual.
Yeah, and with those 8 middle schoolers, and I saw that you have obviously your 5 starters, and 3 of those starters are freshmen or sophomores, and your top scorer right now is a sophomore. So the future is looking very, very bright. How excited are you to see those players come up through Remsen St. Mary's and kind of develop and turn into really key players in a couple of years?
Our top scorer is about 20 points a game at Hallie Bunkers, and then we've got about a double-double in our senior from Tessa Tettinger. So those are good, but we've also then, those young kids will really add to the program. We're going to lose 1, probably gain 4. Yeah, and I just see us getting stronger and stronger in the next few years.
Awesome. Well, the future is certainly looking bright over at Remsen St. Mary's. Coach, I want to thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time we got right now in Coach's Corner. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Connor.